Okay, recording.
Awesome. That sounds good, guys. So I just want to thank everyone for jumping on. We've got this awesome lady who actually had the pleasure of seeing at Super Saturday in Melbourne, together with Josh as well. Just wanted to, get the chance pretty much of catching up with having a chance to see with her at UIA when we were in Sydney and had a really good chat. And she offered to help whenever she could. And I was like, this would be awesome to have you on and share a little bit with us. So for those who are not familiar with her, this is Emma, who's actually 4-star Golden Circle, 2-star Crystal Exec, and done so much in the business supporting their team together with Josh, and we're just pretty excited to have you on. And just want to welcome you to our Bfree team.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
That's all right.
Excited to be here. Thanks for having us, guys. Fire away.
Nice.
Let me have it.
Yeah, so we put a post out to the team today, so they've sent through a few questions. So we'll try and get through as many as we can. So just to kick off, we'd love to hear how you were introduced to Isagenix and your story and kind of what you're doing a bit beforehand. So
Yeah, sure. Well, so before Isagenix, I was a mum of Josh is leaving. It is hot. It's really hot in here. We've got the electric blanket on 3, so we're just cooking quietly under the blankets with the air conditioning on. Okay, so before Isagenix, I was a mum of 3 girls, still am a mum of 3 girls. But I guess I just, like a lot of mums, kind of lose your way a little bit. I definitely didn't have the same spark that I had when I was younger. I was exhausted. My 2 little ones were born 13 and a half months apart. So that was crazy town for the first 2 years. But I managed to put on about 30 kilos in each pregnancy and then lose it and then gain it and then lose it and gain it. I didn't have a healthy relationship with food my whole life. And I'm sure, most mums can kind of relate to that yo-yo dieting and being on everything and you name it. And I had been on it, anything from like diet tablets to Tony Ferguson to, even like some of the injectables that you can inject like hormones into your stomach to make you not hungry. Like I had done so many horrible things to my poor body. And at my biggest, I was 101 kilos. So I definitely wasn't healthy, and it was affecting my happiness, and that was the one thing that really shocked me about, I guess, when I started on Isagenix was, so I was a beauty therapist before Isagenix too, so I must say, about the network marketing idea and model of Isagenix that really, really frightened me. I wasn't I loved being a beauty therapist and I gave the best massages, best facials you could ever imagine. I was bloody good at my job and I had my little home business that I just ran from home. Loved it, but I couldn't charge anyone. I was so weird about money and about taking money from people, and I'm still a bit like that. I'm weird about money. So if you ever come out to a cafe with me for lunch, it's likely to be a free lunch. I just don't like dealing with money. I'm just funny about it. So when it came to, I guess, network marketing and I knew that it was a business, it frightened me. But I did start Isagenix for the products. I started because I saw a friend of mine, Emma, posting her before and after photos all over Facebook, and she had a thigh gap that I was desperately needing myself, and it was just the next thing after all the things that I'd done. I really truly didn't believe this would work, just like all the other things. And I went on to lose 18.5 kilos in about 4.5 months, but that was amazing, and I got my sexy back. But what I noticed was day 6, when the products had been going in for a few days, that just blew my mind emotionally. I had never felt happy vibes like that before, and I was really suffering before. It was that made me just go ding ding, like what's going on? And I rang Emma, because the girl who signed me up, Emma Carrera, you know, I said to her, what is in there? There's got to be drugs in there. And she said, she said, oh no, it's not the drugs. She said that there's just nutrients in there and your body's, you know, not getting that from our food. And she's a massive science nerd, and I was just eating it all up. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's so amazing. And you know, and with the cleanse days as well, like, I was petrified of all that, but once I started smashing them, my body just did a backflip. Just emotionally, what it did for me, I always say to people, I felt like in the first week, like I was skipping through the streets and just high-fiving strangers, like, you know, that kind of happy feeling that you just can't get. It's like, it was like being in a musical, like, you know, and I was just so excited about it. So it was natural for me to share it. But when it came time, I guess, for it to be down to business, people were saying yes to me and I didn't want to take them on. So I was pushing them off to Emma and saying to Em, like, you need to sign them up. Like, they're ready to go. I don't want the business. I've got my own beauty business. And I didn't need the money. Like, we were fine. You know, my husband was always the breadwinner and I was just doing this little hobby. So it was like, you know, it wasn't, there was never money. It was never money driven, and it still isn't. And so, but when, you know, Emma was saying no, she wouldn't sign these people up, that I was going to do it. You know, then all the little silly things came into my mind, like, oh, I don't understand computers. I don't like it. It took me 2 years, guys, to learn how to do a Zoom call. Like, I'm not kidding you. I'm such a simpleton when it comes to technology. But you know what? I fumbled my way through it. And when Emma, you know, forced me to get on the back office and sign these people up, the rest part was easy because I was such a lover. Like, my beauty therapy business was all about love. It's all about making people feel amazing, supporting people, helping them to feel the best they've ever felt. So these products did most of the work for me. And, you know, and when they started to send me messages on week 2, week 3, just saying, you've changed my life, thank you so much, that just made me like a powerhouse. I just turned into this like enrolling machine. And it did help that I was given a free event ticket to go and see David Wood train the trainer, which was a 5-day event. It went from like 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night for 5 days straight. It was like UIA on steroids. And I was there in amongst, you know, the ISA celebrities like Jen Jeffries and Jackson Parr was just getting started. You know, Emily Tonkin when she was really cracking along, all these people. And I remember sitting there and I had no clue. Like, I didn't even know who David Wood was. But I was told that he was going to change my life. And I literally sat there and cried for about 5 days straight and walked out of there like not the same human. I really had no belief in myself whatsoever before Isogenics, and it just helped me to get the whole simplicity of what this whole thing is. Like, that box is magic. We already know that because we felt it in our bodies. And really, you know, it's just a gift. So it's just gifting other people what we don't have to directly take their money. So therefore it wasn't an issue for me once I got past the whole business idea. But so I did, you know, I ran all the way to 4-star in 9 months. And, you know, I did the Crystal executive thing. I've created 2 executives. And it really isn't, I mean, it is business definitely now, but I don't know, like, I think I've just treated it like it's a love thing for me. I just love it. And I will add as well, which I spoke about on Saturday at Super Saturday in Sydney, that this business, you know, as much as it was all about love and fun and just finding my tribe, I'd never had to worry about money before. I'd never had to support myself before. I always had a partner. I had my eldest daughter when I was only 20, so I was always a mum. And last year when my husband and I separated, you know, I spent a year grieving the loss of my marriage. And, you know, this business supported me through that entire time when I couldn't get out from under the doona. You know, I couldn't support my people very well. I couldn't enroll because I didn't have the vibes. So, you know, I couldn't do any of that stuff, but still every single Monday, you know, $2,000 to $3,000 would just drop into my bank account and support me. I was able to leave my family, you know, with all the stuff in the house, so it was still stayed familiar to them, so they didn't have to see the couch going or the TV go or whatever. I just was able to set myself back up on my own without fear of money or anything. So it's just been, I can't even tell you how life-changing like it has been for me. And yeah, so that's my story. Sorry, we gone on a bit long.
Love it.
That's awesome.
I can feel through the computer how good it was.
I can give you anything to take away. It's that, like, it was the stories in the room that I heard that made me cry, that made me want to do this business. So, you know, when you look down to all the technical stuff that you put behind the business, what do you do? What do you say? It all comes down to what you feel and what you need to ooze. It's honestly, tell people, it's like cutting your heart open and bleeding out on a plate for people. You just want to be so real and raw, and how much you want it for them will determine whether they kind of say yes, you know.
So that's an incredible point, and probably ties in good with the next question.
The next question as well, because it was actually awesome, because for yourself, you said you went pretty much ran to 4-star within a 9-month period, and just wanted to find out, obviously there was a time where you were enrolling a lot of people, supporting a lot of people in the team as well. I just wanted to see maybe what steps you shared with your team, from either starting them off from product users to product sharers, and then maybe business builders, whether there's some tips that you could share with us as to how we can do that with ourselves or with our teams as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, definitely people were feeding off my excitement. So I always say to people, you know, the coaching side of things, when you get somebody on board, I mean, when you do get them to say yes, it's so important to have excitement behind what you're doing and to just be so happy for them that they're getting started. So I think that's half of it. Then when you get them started, you know, then, you know, making sure that you're really in touch with them that first 30 days, and you're really celebrating them for what they've been doing, and you're almost drilling it in and concreting it in, how much of a life-changing experience they've had when you're able to say, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened already. I can't believe blah. So you're really you're making them feel really special, and like their journey is really unique. So I find, you know, that I treat everybody like that, because I was treated like that too. As far as, you know, getting people to see the vision, initially when I first started out, you know, I guess the events helped me to do that without me really having to do it. So definitely launch parties I was doing a lot of launch parties at the start, and, you know, head office was going as well. So I would often get them to head office. Anything I knew I could plug a new cleanser into that could cast a vision bigger than what I could at the time, then I would do that. 3-way calls were really powerful, because I didn't, obviously, like, none of us start out with a wealth story. So when I wanted somebody when I knew somebody had really good connection skills, and I just saw them as a really savvy business owner, I was like, oh my God, you would love this. This will, you know, this will set your heart alight. You need to take a look at this. Then I would just get them on a 3-way call with Heidi, or you know, I'd send them a really cool, you know, video. I used to love the Lynn Hagedorn, Who Do You Know? And it was like her up at one of the big events, and she goes through consultant right through to director and all the bonuses and stuff like that. But I just love the way she goes, you know, who do you know that needs, you know, better sleep? Who do you know that's a chiro? Who do you know that's blah? So she was like rattling off all these things, and it just goes ding, 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 and helps you to see, like, I do know a lot of people. So yeah, but I guess trying to help my team to rank advance helped that I was thrown into a derby quite quickly, and that's when we won ISA Derby Cambodia. So I had maybe 4 people at the start that were just good sharers, and we all just kind of ran together, and I was, of course, going bananas. So I was doing a lot of the enrolling, which helped the team to grow the points to get there, but they were doing enough, and they were doing enough to grow their confidence to at least rank advance to, you know, 1-star or 2-star. Some of these people have fallen off now, so I have to be raw and open about that. Some people will get a certain way, and then they just start to slack off and they don't run all the way. That's frustrating, and that was frustrating for me at the start, but now I just see that, you know, some will and some won't, but I was still able to provide something for them that's helped them to, going to their next phase of life and help, you know what I mean? So it's just a part of accepting the part of the business that, you know, some people just won't want it enough. So yeah, did I answer that question enough for you?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. No,
Actually, a lot of good points as well. Especially around just in that 30 days, it's loving everyone and making time to actually support them. Like you mentioned, actually treating everyone the same, and then just allowing everyone just to grow and actually try and build their vision. So I think those are some really good points as well.
And I love what you said about the concreting their belief of how incredibly life transforming this is. So, and that's definitely a good takeaway. And then the as far as moving people from product users, product sharers, and business builders, getting people to events, which coincidentally leads me on to our next question, which was best hot tips for getting your people to events, whether they're kind of more business builders, whether they're just, you know, first-time cleansers, anything around that would be incredible too.
I think firstly around that, you almost need to have a mindset that every single person that comes into your business, you want them to see the big Isagenix vision. You know, we're not just playing around here. We don't just want to get these people to consultant. Like, you want to set them free. You want them to have a free life. You want them to change the world. You want them to make their dent in the universe, whatever area there is. I've got people that love wildlife. I've got people that are vegan. I've got people that are, you know, like, want to save, you know, want to save energy on the planet. You know, I've got people that just energetically, they're healers. Like, I see all these people like they're a little diamond mine, and it's my job to try and help them to use Isagenix as a vehicle and a platform to help them with other stuff that they can really bring to the world. So it sounds so deep and huge, but if you look at every single person, like, they have a special gift, because we're all human and we're all really different humans, then, you know, these people can bring so much to the table if you help them to see in themselves what they're worth and what their dreams are worth. And so that's part of it. But then once you are able to do that and you build the beautiful relationship that you then have with them, like, these people are your best friends, you know, that when you enroll people, you become so close to them. I met a woman down at the park down here with my kids. My kids have these ride-on unicorns, and they stand out like they're huge, right? These unicorns, and they got fur and everything. They look like a real unicorn. And my kids are like they ride like a horse, like they go up and down. It's hilarious. And they rode them up to the park like a couple of weeks ago on these hideous things, and they always attract attention. That's not why I bought them though, that my kids just really wanted them. But anyway, we went up to the park, and there were two mums up there, and they were like, everyone always stares, and then they say, where did you get those? And, you know, I make the joke, like, they make adult ones too if you're interested, and, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And I just got chatting with this woman, and she was just such a gentle heart, and, you know, and she was talking quite deep and spiritually, but she was also saying that what she was currently doing in her job was not something that she can see herself doing long term. She said, I'm feeling like I want to get out of it. And I went, well, there might have been a reason why we met today. I'd really love to chat with you a bit more about what I do. And then that week she rang me. She was chasing me, saying, I want to know, what is this thing? And I told her, and then she enrolled the same day. So it was within 2 days I'd met her, she enrolled. So it really is so much about having the belief in yourself, having the belief in the company and the products and what they all do, but also knowing that these people are so special and that they can really do something amazing. She's super quiet. She's not a yellow like me as well. So don't think that like, I look at everybody like they're really special. And, you know, so, and I also feel like the universe drops these people in your path for a reason. So I'm always listening to that and always wanting it for them. So definitely half the battle is, I guess, look at them. What is special about them? Why do you want them to see what our vision is? What can our vision bring to them? Whether it's new friends, whether it's, just a deeper, a deeper understanding of what the products can actually do chemically to your body, whether it's, you know, that they hate their life-sucking job and that they're worth so much more than that. I will always say, you know, there's an amazing event coming up this weekend. I really want you to come to it. I feel like you need to be there. And if they say what's it all about, I actually just say, look, I don't know exactly what's going to be said there, but every single event I've ever been to has been mostly life-changing for most people that I take there. So just trust me, and are you free? You know, so you can hear that in my posture, right? Like, I actually truly believe it, so it oozes out. So when you really do feel that, you know, and most of us that have been to an event, we feel how amazing they are, but people put the weird behind the inviting, which is so silly, because you know you're going to change these people's lives if you get them in the room. So let's just tell them that these events change lives. There's no cult involved, there's no weirdness involved. This is just an amazing presentation that you're about to see, and I want you to come and see it. Then, you know, they'll either come or they won't, but I think if you put the belief in there, that's when they're really listening. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. I want to go to an event now too. Yeah, no, I love that, just keeping it real. And one thing, yeah, with the obviously, how do you communicate? So you've worked out what Isagenix could be for them, whether it's, you know, for their health, whether it's allowing them to do something else with their life that they're really passionate about. How do you communicate that to them, that you know that you've got something that, you know, can be a vehicle for them?
Well, you have to be quite careful with that one, because you know what they're worth, but often they don't know what they're worth. And for most people, they don't have much belief in themselves, and that's usually why they will never step into network marketing without being handheld, right? So we have to be careful, I guess, not to be too woo-woo with them and freak them out, but just to give them enough information so that they do hold your hand and come with you. So I just say, you know, if it were business and I was saying, look, I think you would really love the business model, then I would say you're absolutely incredible. You're such an amazing connector, and you're a lover. And if you see all the people in this room presenting, you'll understand that this is a heart business and these people are all just so giving and loving. I think it's totally for you. Can you come and take a look? But if it were just that I knew, because you can get a feeling about people and you can tell when somebody might be a little bit skeptical, or they might be sitting on the fence a little bit with the business, I just say, look, it might or might not be for you, but you know, these events really change the game for me, so I'd really love it if you could just come and take a look, you know, and you know, I can put you in a spot by the door just in case you need to run away. But if, you know, I think sometimes if you go in too hard and say, look, I've got all these visions for you and I think that blah, 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 you can make them go, oh my God, like that's just way too much for me. She doesn't even know me. But there's ways to compliment them and give them, you know, positive affirmations and make them feel secure in your presence and secure with you as a genuine friend without taking it too far. So I try not to give them too much information. I think sometimes it can be overload. So, you know, I just say, look, there's an incredible event coming up this weekend. I truly think you'll love it. So are you free? And yeah, there's not really anything else I say on top of that. Depends. Everyone's different, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I love it. It's kind of just, keeping it kind of authentic and real for that person, and then allowing
their energy and their vibe. And you know what? And I find not asking too many questions like, you know, are you interested in the business? Are you blah? I actually just make assumptions too that people would never say no to this if they got to see it. So it's our job to, you know, to just get them in the room, you know, without giving too much info.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's awesome.
I love it. And
So
next one?
Yep. So pretty much, let's say people have now joined the team, they've seen the vision, or they're just pretty much a part of the team and they haven't fully seen the vision yet. We're just trying to find out pretty much what you do or how you guys go around creating your own team culture. Pretty much keeping everyone plugged into your own community, whether there's activities you guys do or what it is you guys do to actually just create that team culture.
And to build on the culture that you've got.
Yeah. Well, it changes and morphs all the time. So when I first came into this, you know, we were sort of working a lot with Heidi McAllen and Emma and Lauren, But then we sort of moved away a little bit. Like Heidi's quite intense, so she's an amazing coach and leader. But we just, I guess, Lauren, Emma and I are all Pisces, and I don't know if that makes much sense to any of you guys, but we're super dreamy and soft, and we're all yellow. So we just needed to, I guess, be a bit more loving and a bit more, just have our own tribe. So we went off and created our own group. And so I guess now that's kind of how our group is. It's a little bit mushy, loving, supportive, quite emotional, I guess. Like it's, so, and as far as like keeping our teams together, we do heaps of like team lunches and stuff like that, but everyone's really spread out. So, we do team calls and stuff like that, just like everybody else. Every time, there's a major event on or whatever, we'll always make sure that we do a team dinner or something like that. But yeah, nothing fancy, nothing special there.
No, that's awesome.
And Emma is now in New York, so she's sort of separated from the rest of us here. And
oh wow, so, is she living over there?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's incredible. That sounds amazing. So this next question kind of slightly deviates from what we've been talking about, but it's more just around scheduling your time, and I'd be really interested to see kind of versus when you first got started, so when you're still your beauty therapist and doing work, how you scheduled your time and your workload and what you focused on, versus now that you're doing this full time and you can schedule a whole day work. So
yeah. Well, I guess at the start I was, and this is, I wouldn't recommend anybody do this, but I was around the clock. Like, I mean, there's the non-negotiable times, like, feeding the children and, getting ready for school drop-off and stuff like that. But I worked all the time, all at night. I worked during the day. I just didn't stop. I was just so pumped and excited. And that's obviously what supported my fast-growing team, really well. And that's why, I guess that's why too, when I hit 4-star and I took my foot off the pedal a little bit, why my, how some people, they build this incredible business, then all of a sudden it just dives. I built like a really stable business. These people that I supported, they were lifers. I helped them to be concreted in. So I guess, at the start I worked so hard and I was able to build something really, really deep and strong. Then after I hit 4-star, you kind of go into a little bit of management mode at some point during your journey. So I guess then I was called a leader and I was thrown in with a bunch of other leaders just leading, and you don't do as much IPA and as much enrolling, and which we all should, and we should continue to do that. But and I had some stuff going on inside my marriage and all that sort of stuff, so I slowed right down there. Currently what I'm doing, I would say maybe 4 to 5 hours of solid IPA a week, but it changes and varies all the time, and I don't have like a really good structure. Like I don't have something where I get up and I do like, IPA after 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock. I don't do anything like that. I'm a yellow, so I like to wing it. I'll get up and go, you know what, like we're going bushwalking today, or we're going to go find a cave of some sort and we're going to go live there for 3 days. So I'm still living the freedom a little bit, but I am I'm sort of setting myself up to run to 5-star quite soon, which means that I'm going to have to really knuckle down. There's going to have to be a lot of enrollments coming through, really a lot of support, and that takes so much time. It really does. Like, we can't beat around the bush there, like to really get your people to be handheld. And some of them are like little baby Labradors. Like you really do need to like baby them and support them and really help them at the start so they can just get it. Once they've got it, you can let go of their hand a little bit. But I do know there's quite a few people in my business, and also me in particular, that if I didn't get that at the start, I wouldn't have done what I did if I didn't have all that special hand holding. So.
And if I can just jump in here quickly, it's been hard for me to bite my tongue this whole time, but
sorry.
No, it's all good. So like we've got different business centers. So I'm 3-star, and sort of went to 3-star, not like super quick, but like in about a year. So, and I was doing massive 12-hour days construction. So a construction supervisor, had like 30 guys on the job, couple of $1.5 million big rigs and that sort of thing. So, I was pretty stressed out. But, when I started to get into it and started sharing with the structure sort of thing, like I had 12 hours where I was working. I really couldn't be on the phone. I was sort of like plugged in. So my time was like an hour in the morning. It's Smoko, that's my 15 minutes. So I'd be messaging people or replying to some stuff at lunchtime. I get half an hour. And then when I'd finish work, I'd go back home and after 8 o'clock, there'd be 2-3 hours there that I could sort of, get stuck in and do some work. So, it's just about finding those pockets. And then I suppose, as I got onwards a little bit longer, in some of the jobs we'd drill down for, I was doing piling, so we'd drill for 20 minutes and then I'd get 5 minutes at the bottom of that, so I'm drilling for 20 minutes and I'm thinking, okay, so who am I going to be talking to next, so like it was just about using that time that I suppose not when you've got family stuff, because you don't want to half-ass anything. Don't half-ass your family, don't half-ass the business, but if you're at work where you sort of can half-ass, then, use that time to sort of think about, okay, so when I do get this time, what am I going to be doing with it? You know what I mean? So those little pockets are 100%.
And we still work in those little pockets now, don't we? Even when we're away or if we're off doing stuff, just like everyone, we sort of, you never really take your foot off the pedal. You're always in it. You're always, just supporting or, even when we were away in New Zealand, I was prospecting quite a bit while we're over there and then following up while we were there. And so, yeah, but you can kind of do it from everywhere, but I don't have a strict structure. I'm a bit naughty like that.
And one thing is like, I remember when I was like, 3-star cruising around thinking, man, I'd love to be able to follow someone that was 4-star and above that I really admired, and just see what they do throughout the day. And so what Emma's talking about with the way that she talks to people and just gives them those little bits, like I'm like proud to say that I get to follow this one around, and what she's talking is what she, is what she does, so and it's wicked to see that, with the lady down the way here, she was like, when she was talking about her job and she's not really fulfilled, just the way that Emma's just got that posture around being like, oh, I'd love to be able to talk to you about, what we do is it's cool to be able to see that because it is posture. It's posture and just giving them little bits, not dumping onto them. Oh my God. Yeah.
And it's just 100% belief, but it's belief in all the components. I think all of us lack in belief in ourselves, even me. But I believe so much in what this is that there's no way I can't, it's like an IV. I just want to get it in people, and because I know it can change the game. Any problem they have in their life, these products can change everything. So I already know that. It's people that we meet, and you know what? The universe is so funny. I know some people are like, oh my God, don't talk about the universe again, but it's true. Like when you meet these people, they were sent to you like they're meant to be in your life. So if you're not listening and if you're not, if you're not willing to tap into that and take that where it's meant to go, you just, you're wasting that precious gift that you have. Like we've all been led to this for a reason. We're all world changers, believe it or not, we are. And so, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for all your amazing tips and sharing. We'll value everyone's time because it's it's getting just past the half hour. So to finish up, so even from both of you, if there's one last tip or bit of advice or inspiring words, what would it be from each of you to leave with everyone?
So I suppose the biggest thing when I came in was exactly what Em was talking about before, was energy, you know what I mean? And when we went to Vegas last celebration, Eric Warre talks about bringing people in groups, you know what I mean? Whether that's like a 30-day challenge or something like that. So there's a bunch of people starting and there's that excitement, you know what I mean? So when I started, Brett and Sammy had just sort of started, so I'm down from Brett and Sammy. Brett and Sammy had just started Matt and Karina and Mine rolling sponsors, and it was all momentum, you know what I mean? There's massive energy. But that was Derby. That was us in Derby. That's where I met Emma over in Cambodia, but that was like, that was momentum, and then it's off to cruise for a little while, and it's back into a 90-day game plan. But I mean, the biggest thing recently for me has just been seeing the numbers, and like seeing, when like Emma stands up and they talk about the numbers, or you go through Heidi, or you go Brett and Sammy, they all relate to each other. It's just the people that have more conversations are more successful. So, and like Brett was saying on stage yesterday, the more you open and shut your mouth, that's success, So, but it totally is about connection and loving on people. But you have to get out there and you have to talk to more people. So if my thing, tip is just get out there and talk to more people, with posture and make those connections. So.
Sure. And I guess if I were to give you a tip, mine would be, I guess, like, I really love how Eric Worre always talks about, the plane taking off, and how you can just motor along across the tarmac and you'll definitely be moving your business forward. What are you laughing at, Rachel? Are you laughing at me, or did someone fluff in the background or something? Yeah, no. So, I feel like with so many people, they start to motor along and they're going really well, and then they take their foot off the pedal and everything starts to fall away. Their people are falling away, or they're dropping in and out of consultant or whatever. And what do you think that does? Like, that hurts your confidence more than anything, right? When you're dropping in and out. I've dropped out of executive a few times. It hurts. That you're just like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this and whatever. So you're doubting yourself. So if you put your pedal to the metal, not forever, but just for a period of time, you're going to take that thing off the ground and it will be up in the air. And that's what we call momentum. So the idea is behind, I guess, when people say, oh, speed isn't sexy. Speed is not sexy if you are not supporting your people. Speed is not sexy if, you're just speeding, to a goal and then you just let go of the reins. But speed is bloody sexy when you get that thing into momentum and then you can keep it there. And that is what everybody wants. And for most people, it's just to initially replace their current income. And then once you take it to a certain point, like I think there was one week I earned like $15,000. It was like a $28,000 month for me. And I was like, holy crap, like how incredible is this thing that we have? And you know what, like it's definitely an amazing feeling of success, but to know that you have the vehicle that can actually give that, you can give that to other people as well, they can have that life, is absolutely amazing. But you can never do that unless you're willing to, for some period of time, just put your pedal to the metal, take that thing up into the sky, and then once it's up there, you're set. So, and then you do it again after.
And that time can be anywhere. Like just recently we had consultants of ours that, that have been in the business for a couple of years, went to director quickly with us, all in that momentum, and then stuff happened and they lost their confidence, dropped back down to like one consultant. And then they drew a line in the sand. A whole lot of stuff happened, and they went to exec in 4 weeks after 2.5 years in the business, after losing that confidence and going backwards, you know what I mean? But it was like, you know what, we need this. Like there's no, and she was like, when she went exec, I got her a house cleaner because she said that she hadn't done any house cleaning for 4 weeks and stuff. So I was like, oh, well, I'll get that sorted for you, but like it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. It's just about drawing the line in the sand and being like, you know what, like this is what I want, so I'm going to make this happen, and it can happen anytime. So
yeah,
so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing and taking the time to join us today. That was awesome.
Thanks for asking us on, and good luck, everybody. We're all there for each other in Isogenic, so if you ever need three-way calls or whatever, just yell out.
That'll be awesome. And thanks, Josh, as well, for having the chance to speak. I know like Laura tends to take over from me as well.
Just let them do the thing.
Exactly. But what we normally do is we'll get everyone to unmute and they'll just give you guys some shout outs and some love, and then we'll finish off there. But thank you so much again for jumping on. Really, really
love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Josh. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, have a good night. And see you guys next time.
Well done, Lauren Fib.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Real estate.
See you guys.